gets it off in time. And he's got it, baby! Big time Nets win!
The only Nets fans you know.
Man.
I mean, come on, man. Or are these guys?
Welcome back to the only Net Fans You Know podcast. I'm Peter. Our guest today, I just found him randomly on Twitter. Podthorn tweeted about him. I checked him out. He does Nets watch parties on YouTube all the way from Australia. And I wanted to kind of give this guy some light. Welcome to the show, Saba from the Saba Show. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm good, man. What time is it over there right now?
It's 12:16 in the afternoon. It's a bit weird. The time zones are completely out of whack, completely different.
How does a guy from Australia become a Nets fan?
I'm not even 100% sure how. I do remember very early on in high school just tracking the Paul Pierce days of the Nets. I have no idea how I ended up there. And I thought, this team's going to be a fun watch. You don't really know what you're going to get with them. I think I've really enjoyed supporting the team over that period of time.
Let's jump into the team right now. Coming off a probably the biggest win of the year as far as fan base being able to relax through a game. Nets won 147-114 over the Cavs. 8 guys with 10-plus points. Bridges, 33 points. Thomas, 25 points. Clax had a double-double. Sexton got held to 6 points on 1 of 10 shooting for the Jazz. Markkanen only 13 points, shooting 4 of 12. But of course, the revival of Ben Simmons, right? Near triple-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal and a block, shooting 5 of 5. And the team looked totally rejuvenated. It looked like the team that we saw in the preseason and earlier in the year. Do you think it's really one player coming back from injury kind of unlocks this team? Is it that simple?
I don't want to jump the gun after one game, but I think you sort of have to. Because as soon as Ben came into the game in the first quarter, you look at that little 14-0 burst that we had in the back end of the first quarter. Then you saw the 14-0 run. That was energetic as hell. I think it actually is as simple as saying that one player makes a difference, because energy is infectious. And it really helps when you've got a rebounder who isn't wasting time looking for someone to pass to. He can just grab the ball and go. The dynamics of the offense has changed single-handedly because of one player. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben came in 4 minutes, 34 seconds in the first quarter, 6 assists. I think the Nets had a season-high 41 assists in the game. My question is, do you put him into the starting lineup now?
It's an interesting sort of dilemma we have, because Ben, we know how much of a difference maker he is, but the caveat is that he is terribly injury prone. And do you want to overdo him too early in terms of playing him too many minutes? I don't know if you can start him and then potentially be a little bit more managing of his minutes. But that being said, I think you need someone like Ben in the starting lineup. It unlocks a lot of flexibility with, Cam Thomas is shooting every time he scores 30 points a game. He's shooting at, I think it's 60%, true shooting percentage. So I think that could be unlocked further if you have Ben Simmons in the starting lineup. Those two play well together. Cam Johnson can actually play as a 4 because Ben is taller and he helps you on the defensive side, adds more size. So I think you have to start him, but I wouldn't necessarily rush that process, if that makes sense.
What would you look for Ben Simmons to put up stat-wise? What would you be happy with? 1 second. What would you be happy with stat-wise from Ben Simmons going forward?
I think that assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks are going to be the best gauge of how well he is playing. Because I don't think, as you've said, the points I don't think are a deal breaker. Because Ben facilitating, getting the rebounds and converting those into assists, and then doing the defensive work, steals and blocks, I think that's going to be a really good gauge of his performances, rather than just looking at the points and saying, well, he's got 2 points, he's done nothing. So I think points-wise, I'm not expecting more than like 7 or 8 points a game, if that. but I think the rebounds and assist numbers have to be pushing 10 each, I think, if he's going to be a focal point of the offense and defense for that matter.
That's fair. Ben Simmons coming back affects a lot with this team. May affect the Nets trade deadline a lot. I could see a press conference happening saying that, our addition was getting Ben Simmons back, I think most of the fan base would be infuriated if that happened. But what do you think? Are we going to be buyers, sellers? What do you think?
I think we have to sell, don't we? I think we have to.
We're in a
Like,
playoff spot right now, technically.
and it's crazy because how on earth are we in that position, first and foremost, where we've lost or had a period where we've lost 17 of 21 and yet
Everybody
find
sucks.
ourselves, everyone sucks. Full stop. The Hawks, I think, have got an equally difficult run in this period of time, and they're obviously the one that we're competing with for that 10 spot. But I think you have to sell anyway. I don't think that who we're selling off is necessarily going to compromise the way we play. You look at Spencer, you look at Finney Smith. I think Finney Smith is the most important one that is potentially on the trade block. O'Neal, Claxton. I can't see Clax getting moved. It'd have to be probably Dinwiddie and Finney Smith. I don't know if this is your take as well, but Clax, I've noticed. I love the guy. I love the energy he brings. I love the antics that he possesses. But at the exact same time, there have been far too many double-double games in this stretch where he's had fourth quarters where he will get 2 points and a rebound. This guy, if he wants 20 mil, he can't go absent in these stretches. I don't think we've A, used him enough, B, he hasn't been aggressive enough. And C, I don't know if this is a stupid idea. Is it stupid to say that we should try Clax as something of that to a point center effect? Because there are some centers that aren't good shuffling the feet. Clax is agile. Clax is decently quick. If you give him the basketball at the half court line and try get him to take it downhill, I'm not saying it'll work, but I'm just saying if we want to try something completely different, and is that something that we just haven't unlocked that we don't even know about? Because his handle's not too bad. We saw that OKC game, I think in OKC, where he took it the length, did a couple crossovers. I don't know if that was a flash in the pan moment, but if he actually has that and we haven't been using it, then maybe the $20 million is in something as simple as trying to unlock that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's going to be a very rich man. I talk to people that do analytics. They love him. They think he's great. The numbers back him up. The eye test tells me a lot of what you just said. He was a guard in high school. That's why he has the handles that he has. We've seen him take it up. I shouldn't say take it up, but he's not afraid to dribble in a fast break. Okay? He's not bad. Your idea is very interesting. The only issue with that, he's not that good of a passer. I'm not confident enough in Nic Claxton to initiate an offense. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they don't give him enough room to grow. But yeah, that's my deal with Claxton. I think if you're gonna lose with him, you lose without him. Okay? He's 24, defensive player of the year-esque type of player. How much better is he going to get? Okay? Is he gonna take the step and be super elite in 3 years? Maybe. I could see him being one of the top centers in the league very easily. But I could also see him being the same guy. I think if the Nets pay him, it's going to be because they think there's more and there's another step.
I think that the reassurance we've gotten from Dayron this year, I think, has changed drastically what Clax's future looks like. So I think
You're
we
right.
can afford to lose him and potentially see Dayron as a starting center starting next year. Maybe even the back end of this year, depending on the direction of the franchise. But yeah, I can equally see Clax getting sold and having a ridiculous impact on a team that has a good coach and knows his strengths as well. Because I don't think, he's gotten enough paint touches. The lobs, he doesn't have anyone to pass the ball to him consistently enough. So I think it's a personnel and a coaching issue. That being said, if we get something good in return for him, then that may be the move with Dayron waiting in the wings.
We'll have to see with that. But we don't know what's going to happen with this team. Are they going to get a Murray? Are they going to get a D'Lo? Are they just going to sell for picks?
We've seen the impact of Ben in one small sample size and maybe the start of the season as well. But I don't think, like, we've seen the impact he has and how much of a cornerstone he is to what we do. So I think the surrounding pieces, we've got more of those waiting in the wings. And I think you can potentially plug a Jalen Wilson. I think if you don't want to start Ben right now and you trade Dinwiddie, I think you can insert Trendon Watford and see what that potentially can bring. I don't think that's going to necessarily have a huge impact negatively in terms of how we play. As long as players like Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, Mikal, Claxton are all healthy, we've seen how well they're playing as of recently. As long as we have those guys, we just need the glue guys around them. And I don't think those players getting traded off are going to have a sizable impact.
Royce is a free agent, so I would think he'd be gone also. Everything is fluid, but the guys that I would really be focusing on, Spence is 100% gone. Royce is probably 100% gone. Dorian Finney-Smith, if healthy, is 100% gone. What does the starting? I'm going to ask you one of these last questions. What does the starting lineup look like 2 weeks from now?
So we're going to say Ben is healthy because, of course, that's a guaranteed. Ben at the point, Mikal at the 3, and CJ at the 4, Cam Thomas at the 2. The center position is an interesting one because Clax, of course. I don't think they move Clax. I don't. I just think that they rate him too highly. I feel like they may offer him money in the off season. That's just an opinion of mine. I think the 5 will be Ben, Mikal, Cam, both of them, and Claxton. I think that'll be it. Yeah.
Do we make a move for a player? Maybe a bench piece? Maybe another guard? What do you think about that?
I definitely think that we should make a couple of small moves. I've always been high on Tyus Jones, but I'm pretty sure he's on an expiring as well. So I don't know what you would give up for him. But he is a player that very good passer, good assist to turnover ratio, shoots the ball well, and is a team first player. So that's a player you want. Wings, I'm not too sure. I would like to see. I think if we bring in players, I think that's going to deter us from what Nets fans want to see in terms of seeing Wilson, maybe Clowney get some exposure at the back end of the year. I think that would get in the way. And we don't really need a center because Dayron is nailed down backup big for the rest of the year when he gets back. And JV loves small ball. So even if we don't have Dayron, you can bet on him playing a 6'8" wing at center.
You're probably right with that. All right, we're going to start wrapping things up. I always ask all my guests this. You have to give me your favorite Nets jersey.
I'd have to pick probably the Biggie jerseys, the black ones from the 2018-19 season. Like when D'Lo was rocking that jersey, like that was a good fit. That was a good fit. I love that jersey, and I also loved the. Wait a second. I'm not going to describe it. It's this one. I don't know what that is.
But for the people listening, it's the blue tie-dye jersey.
I actually think that may be my favorite. This is one when KD was on the team. I wore this basically as many streams as I could. So I think that one's got a warm place in my heart. But yeah, I reckon those are the top two. I think that blue one is the top one for me.
All right. Last question. Where do the Nets finish this year?
Can I do a with Ben and without Ben prediction?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I think we're going to end the season with, from here on out, a positive record, but I still think we're going to end the season under 500. So I think we're going to be 39 to 40 wins with Ben. Without Ben, I think we're 36 wins. That's what I'm going to predict. So I think we'll go 500 or better. Yeah, I reckon we're going to go 500 or better with or without Ben. I think that's what it works out to. But I think with Ben, he gives us a few extra wins in there. I don't know if that's overs or unders, but yeah, that's just my call.
It's all good. All right. Where can they find you? Let's throw some plugs out there.
So on YouTube, it is The Saba Show. Saba is spelt S-A-B-A on YouTube. That's where all the watch parties happen. We're doing as many as we can. Whenever I can get in front of the setup, that's when it's happening. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And on Twitter, where I talk a bit of Nets, it is also at The Saba Show, but Saba is S-A-B-A-A. So don't get those two mixed up.
All right, guys, you could find me at NetFansYouKnow on Twitter, on YouTube. I do Fireside Nets every Monday with Spen Harris. Check it out at Fireside Nets. Have a great day. Have a great night. If you guys are at lunch, enjoy your lunch. Whatever you guys are doing, be safe. Have fun. And let's go, Nets. We're out.